Today we're going to be taking a look at a very important update for a phenomenal AI. In terms of text-to-speech AI, so this is where you just type regular text in and then speech synthesis happens. On terms of this front, this is the best that we have seen to date, and it was the best at English. But recently, it's got an update to make it multilingual. So if you speak another language, I'm going to need your help in this video because I only speak English. I want you guys to tell me in the comments below if you speak another language, how these different languages sound today in this video as we put this AI to the test. So yes, essentially your comments as viewers at home are going to be a big part of making this video work as a concept. So viewers, if you're watching right now, I recommend you scroll down in the comments and see what people have to say about the different languages as you watch through this video and we test these things out. And as we go through today's video, I want you to think about real-time voice translation. Picture this, we use technology very similar to this, an AI text-to-speech model cloned and trained on my particular voice. I wear some sort of a headset or maybe even just use my phone, some sort of device to translate in real time what I am saying and actually make it sound like I'm saying it in another language in my actual voice. Because essentially everything that we need for that is here today. Oh, and one other thing is that they actually have a way for you to create voices now just from scratch with Elevenlabs, which is very interesting. So we're going to need to test that out as well. That's another update. The reason I want to follow this though is because this is single-handedly the best text-to-speech. I mean, it sounds like a real person. All right, viewers, here is the Elevenlabs site. I gotta say, I love the layout and design of their site. You know, I don't talk about it much on this channel, but I go through a lot of different GUI and website designs, and I can always tell when it's a really well thought out and good one. And this Elevenlabs site is designed phenomenally. So first of all, there is a clone, a perfect clone pretty much, of my voice on this site that I've already created. If you go to your voice lab here, you can see this is the different cloned voices. Here is a voice that I actually generated from scratch. It's a randomly generated voice. Here is the first clone of my voice here, and then I retrained it because I was wondering if maybe Elevenlabs did an update on how they train the different voices, and they allowed you to add tags and stuff. So I'm not sure if these tags actually make a difference when you're using these voices, so I redid it for this update. And I've also got a narrator clone as well. So we'll be creating another randomly generated voice, but first I want to test out the bilingual stuff and see if it works actually on my cloned voice. Let's just do a little test in English. And ChatGPT is going to help us out for this one. And we're pulling out all of the stops here. ChatGPT is going to come up with a lemon-themed comedic tongue twister pronunciation reading test to test one's ability to pronounce English words. I probably won't even be able to pronounce some of these correctly, but we're going to see if Elevenlabs has it on lock. Wow, okay, it's definitely doing it in lemon-themed, and it's definitely a tongue twister. My god, this is lively lemons lavishly launched, leaping and looping through lemonade lakes. Larry the limping lemur licked luscious lemon lollipops, lingeringly licking his lips, luxuriating in lemony lusciousness. Lucy the lioness lounged on lemon-lined lanes, lazily lapping lemon-lime libations, longing for lemon zest. Lanky Larry lit luminous lemon lanterns, leading light-hearted lemon lovers laughing loudly, lost in lemon lore. Wow. I think I actually got that correctly, though. Let's try it out in Elevenlabs. Again, this is just the 11 monolingual. As you can see, here are the two different generators that we have now. So the monolingual one was the one that we had before. Now we have the multilingual one, which is the new experimental one. As you can see, it supports English, German, Polish, Spanish, Italian, French, Portuguese, and Hindi. And it's experimental, and they say that some numbers and symbols may currently be pronounced incorrectly. For best results, please spell them out, so we'll put that to the test as well. And here are the settings that I'm using on my own trained voice, so this will sound like me. This is 25% stability and 80% on the clarity and similarity enhancement. Let's give it a generation.
Lively lemons lavishly launched, leaping and looping through lemonade lakes. Larry the limping lemur licked luscious lemon lollipops, lingeringly licking his lips, luxuriating in lemony lusciousness. Lucy the lioness lounged on lemon-lined lanes, lazily lapping lemon-lime libations, longing for lemon zest. Lanky Larry lit luminous lemon lanterns, leading light-hearted lemon lovers, laughing loudly, lost in lemon lore.
Wow, okay, that was pretty good. I see no issue with what it generated there. I wonder if it sounds any different if we switch to this multilingual model and just run the same exact English text.
Lively lemons lavishly launched, leaping and looping through lemonade lakes. Larry the limping lemur licked luscious lemon lollipops, lingeringly licking his lips, luxuriating in lemony lusciousness. Lucy the lioness lounged on lemon-lined lanes, lazily lapping lemon-lime libations, longing for lemon zest. Lanky Larry lit luminous lemon lanterns, leading light-hearted lemon lovers, laughing loudly, lost in lemon lore.
Sounds pretty much the same. I don't really see a difference in terms of quality and pronunciation. It definitely spoke it differently, but I gotta say, that could just be variations in the generation, because you do get a varied generation in terms of this. Let's just translate this into another language. Let's just start off with German, the second one here. I wonder if it would still be a tongue twister in German. I'm guessing that's not what would happen. But yeah, this is straight German, so we're not doing any phonetic pronunciation. And what that means when I say phonetic, it means that it's trying to spell the word out in English so that a text generator would speak it correctly, if that makes sense. We'll try phonetic after we just do direct German. But apparently this thing works pretty good with phonetic pronunciation. And by the way, I mean, my voice was trained only on English words. Obviously, I don't speak German, so give it a generate.
Lebhafte Zitronen üppig gestartet. Springend und lupend durch Limonadenseen. Larry, der hinkende Lemur, leckte köstliche Zitronenlutscher und ließ die Zunge langsam über seine Lippen gleiten, schwelgend in zitroniger Köstlichkeit. Lucy die Löwin lungerte auf zitronengesäumten Gassen, träge schlürfend Zitronen-Limettengetränke und sehnte sich nach Zitronenschale. Der schlanke Larry entzündete leuchtende Zitronenlaternen, führte heiter Zitronenliebhaber, laut lachend und verloren in Zitronenlegenden.
Okay, I mean, I don't speak German, but that sounds accurate to my English ears. Let's go ahead and swap back to the monolingual one and see if it sounds any different.
Lebhafte Zitronen üppig gestartet, springend und lupend durch Limonadenseen.
Definitely
Larry,
different.
der hinkende Lemur, leckte köstliche Zitronenlutscher und ließ die Zunge langsam über seine Lippen gleiten, schwelgen in zitroniger Köstlichkeit. Lucy die Lowen lungerte auf zitronengesaumten Gassen, träge schlürfend Zitronen-Limettengetränke und sehnte sich nach Zitronenschale. Der schlanke Larry entzündete leuchtende Zitronenlaternen, führte heiter Zitronenliebhaber, laut lachend und verloren in Zitronenlegenden.
I'm going to take a guess in that it sounds correct in German, but it's like a very, very thick, heavy American accent where there's definitely a difference in the generation there. The multilingual 100% sounds more Germany, if I could even say that. Interesting. Let's go ahead and try this now phonetically, meaning it's going to try to spell it out. All right, now we're going to try it phonetically, and it's generating stuff that still looks very German to me. However, it's definitely different from the top one. Let's take a listen.
Lebhafte Zitronen üppig gestartet, springend und lupend durch Limonadenseen. Larry, der hinkende Lemur, leckte köstlich Zitronenlutscher und ließ die Zunge langsam über seine Lippen gleiten, schwelgend in zitroniger Köstlichkeit. Lucy die Löwin lungerte auf zitronengesäumten Gassen, träge schlürfend Zitronen-Limettengetränke und sehnte sich nach Zitronenschale. Der schlanke Larry entzündete leuchtende Zitronenlaternen, führte heiter Zitronenliebhaber, laut lachend und verloren in Zitronenlegenden.
Does that sound more accurate? Does it sound less accurate? If you speak German, let me know. There's definitely a difference with the multilingual model, though, in comparison to the monolingual. Let's try the most spoken language in the world, which I believe is Spanish, correct? All right, ChatGPT is now giving us a story in Spanish about a guy who just can't stop eating spaghetti. You viewers who actually speak Spanish are going to understand this story before me, because I'm going to listen in Spanish first and then hear it in English translated. It's very interesting because a lot of languages have to be spoken in a different accent than just the basic American accent, and my particular cloned voice for Elevenlabs was trained on a very American accent, so it has to do some thinking in the background there with its AI brain to make me sound like I have a Spanish accent. It should be more recognizable to my English ear that this accent is Spanish. Man, the story is pretty long though. Oh my gosh. We have to listen to this though. All right, this is a Huge story. Let's go ahead and listen to it though.
Había una vez un hombre llamado Ricardo, quien tenía una obsesión peculiar. Simplemente no podía dejar de comer espaguetis. Cada mañana, al despertar, Ricardo se dirigía a la cocina para preparar una enorme olla de espaguetis, mientras tarareaba una melodía italiana. Sus amigos y familiares estaban preocupados por su extraña adicción, pero Ricardo no les prestaba atención. Estaba convencido de que los espaguetis eran la clave de la felicidad eterna. Incluso había cambiado su apellido a Espaguetis en honor a su platillo favorito. Un día Ricardo decidió viajar a Italia para participar en un concurso de comer espaguetis. Estaba seguro de que ganaría el primer lugar y de que su nombre sería conocido en todo el mundo. Así que empacó sus maletas y tomó el primer vuelo a Roma. Al llegar a Italia, Ricardo se dirigió rápidamente al lugar del concurso. Había cientos de personas reunidas, ansiosas por ver quién sería el campeón de comer espaguetis. Cuando llegó el momento, Ricardo se sentó en la mesa y comenzó a comer con una determinación feroz. Mientras devoraba plato tras plato, la multitud lo animaba, pero Ricardo no se daba cuenta de que algo extraño estaba sucediendo. Cada vez que terminaba un plato de espaguetis, su nariz comenzaba a crecer. Al principio era solo un pequeño cambio, pero a medida que continuaba comiendo, su nariz se hacía más y más larga. Cuando Ricardo finalmente terminó el último plato de espaguetis, su nariz se había convertido en una gigantesca y cómica protuberancia que se extendía por toda la mesa. La multitud estalló en risas. Y Ricardo, confundido, miró su reflejo en una cuchara. De repente, todo cobró sentido. Su obsesión por los espaguetis había desatado una maldición, convirtiéndolo en una versión humana de Pinocho. Pero en lugar de sentirse triste o avergonzado, Ricardo comenzó a reírse también. La risa fue tan contagiosa que toda la multitud se unió a él, celebrando la nariz de espaguetis más larga del mundo. Y así, Ricardo Espaguetis se convirtió en una leyenda, no solo por su habilidad para comer espaguetis, sino también por su peculiar y jocosa nariz. A partir de ese día, aprendió a reírse de sí mismo y de su extraña situación, y nunca volvió a tomar los espaguetis tan en serio. Al final, la nariz de Ricardo volvió a su tamaño normal, pero su espíritu alegre y su sentido del humor permanecieron intactos, y siempre recordó el día en que los espaguetis lo hicieron sonreír de una manera completamente inesperada.
Okay, so there's a few things to point out there. It started off decent, but there are some major issues in terms of the sound quality there. I assume if I were to start to mess with these settings a little bit more and increase the stability and maybe the similarity enhancement, I don't know, leave the same. Maybe I'd up it a little bit. I assume that glitching and weird sounds would go away. It sounds like there's a demon in the background trying to take over the guy who's speaking, and you could hear the audio get very quiet and then very loud and then very quiet and then very loud, and the voice was changing around. So I think there's some issues there. Like the German sounded really good, but then this is a little bit more all over the place. So there's some work that still needs to be done, clearly, to make it sound okay, because I'm sure I could get rid of that glitchiness by changing these settings around, but it's not going to sound as human as if I didn't. But yeah, that was a very, very long story. I don't know. Was it funny? Was it good? You people who speak Spanish, tell me in the comments below. We're going to translate it to English, and I'm going to have a narrator read it to me. I do believe that the accent was better than I've heard in terms of this thing trying to do Spanish previously. It sounded like I was pronouncing a lot of those words correctly. I don't know. Again, I'd love to hear some feedback in the comments. That's how we're going to know if this works, because I'm not a multilingual guy. All right, let's go ahead and listen to the story in English.
Once upon a time, there was a man named Ricardo who had a peculiar obsession. He simply could not stop eating spaghetti. Every morning upon waking up, Ricardo would head to the kitchen to prepare a huge pot of spaghetti, humming an Italian tune. His friends and family were worried about his strange addiction, but Ricardo paid them no mind. He was convinced that spaghetti was the key to eternal happiness. He had even changed his last name to Spaghetti in honor of his favorite dish. One day, Ricardo decided to travel to Italy to participate in a spaghetti eating contest. He was sure that he would win first place
I'm even
and that
hearing
his
some
name would
glitching
become
with this.
known worldwide. So he packed his bags and took the first flight to Rome. Upon arriving in Italy, Ricardo quickly headed to the contest venue. There were hundreds of people gathered, eager to see who would be the spaghetti-eating champion. When the time came, Ricardo sat at the table and began eating with fierce determination. As he devoured plate after plate, the crowd cheered him on. But Ricardo didn't realize that something strange was happening. Every time he finished a plate of spaghetti, his nose began to grow. At first, it was just a small change, but as he continued eating, his nose grew longer and longer. When Ricardo finally finished the last plate of spaghetti, his nose had turned into a gigantic and comical protuberance that stretched across the entire table. The crowd burst into laughter, and Ricardo, confused, looked at his reflection in a spoon. Suddenly, it all made sense. His obsession with spaghetti had unleashed a curse, turning him into a human version of Pinocchio. But instead of feeling sad or embarrassed, Ricardo began to laugh as well. The laughter was so contagious that the entire crowd joined in, celebrating the world's longest spaghetti nose. And so, Ricardo Spaghetti became a legend, not only for his ability to eat spaghetti, but also for his peculiar and playful nose. From that day on, he learned to laugh at himself and his strange situation, and never again took spaghetti so seriously. In the end, Ricardo's nose returned to its normal size, but his cheerful spirit and sense of humor remained intact, and he always remembered the day when spaghetti made him smile in a completely unexpected way.
Interesting. Okay, so again, this beta version of the multilingual Elevenlabs model is having some issues in terms of longer generations, I think. Even the English ones, which should work out really well, are starting to have glitching and inconsistencies. As you can hear, his voice got very deep, it got monotone, there's some background blur, background noise that you can hear. So I think that's an issue with this model, and it needs some work on that front, and I bet they'll fix it, but for now, there's some problems. Let's just listen to like the end here again, but I'm going to switch it back to the original model. I bet this is going to sound a lot better.
Suddenly, it all made sense. His obsession with spaghetti had unleashed a curse, turning him into a human version of Pinocchio. But instead of feeling sad or embarrassed, Ricardo began to laugh as well. The laughter was so contagious that the entire crowd joined in, celebrating the world's longest spaghetti nose. And so, Ricardo Spaghetti became a legend, not only for his ability to eat spaghetti, but also for his peculiar and playful nose. From that day on, he learned to laugh at himself and his strange situation, and never again took spaghetti so seriously. In the end, Ricardo's nose returned to its normal size, but his cheerful spirit and sense of humor remained intact, and he always remembered the day when spaghetti made him smile in a completely unexpected way.
Yeah, that was a lot better, like way better. So if you're going to be doing English, you really should just stick to the monolingual model for now. But if you're doing multilingual, you're definitely going to obviously want to use this one. Let's go ahead and try some Italian, why don't we? And I'm going to use my previously generated Common Guy voiceover model that I created. And you know what? I'll give you guys a little demo. This is, again, a voice that I entirely generated just using Elevenlabs' little creator, which we'll go over at the end of the video. So we'll do a little test here so you can hear this completely generated voice, not based off of any particular person.
Hello, viewers. Subscribe to MattVidPro AI, or else, ha 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 ha. You don't even know what you're in for if you don't obey my command and like and subscribe. Honestly, I hope you don't. I am eager to do a little mind control. It's been a while.
So yeah, that's a completely AI created voice, which is really astonishing. It sounds pretty good. I'm pretty impressed with that. Let's see if he can do other languages.
Cari amici, vi preghiamo di iscrivervi al canale MattVidPro AI. Ricordatevi di lasciare un mi piace e di commentare. Altrimenti siate pronti ad affrontare la furia delle spaghettate di mamma. Scherzi a parte, il canale MattVidPro AI vi offrirà contenuti divertenti, stimolanti e talmente irresistibili che vi faranno dimenticare il sapore dei cannoli siciliani. Non vorrete perdervi nemmeno un secondo di questa festa di risate e intrattenimento. Perciò iscrivetevi, cliccate mi piace e commentate per assicurarvi un posto in prima fila nel meraviglioso mondo di MattVidPro AI. Buon divertimento a tutti.
This one came out a lot slower, so I'm not sure what that's all about. I don't know, you Italian speakers, which one is better? The MattVidPro one or the AI-generated voice? I gotta know what that says in English. Oh god, it's like the worst joke ever. Mom's spaghetti. I wish I had Eminem's voice on this. We're gonna go back to the monolingual and listen to this in English at the best quality.
Dear friends, we beg you to subscribe to the MattVidPro AI channel. Remember to leave a like and comment, or else be ready to face the fury of Mom's spaghetti. Jokes aside, the MattVidPro AI channel will offer you fun, stimulating, and irresistible content that will make you forget the taste of Sicilian cannoli. You won't want to miss a single second of this laughter and entertainment party. So subscribe, click like, and comment to secure a front row seat in the wonderful world of MattVidPro AI. Have fun, everyone.
What was that little he gave out at the end there? Interesting. All right, we have a few more languages to test out. Let's do Polish, French, Portuguese, and Hindi. We'll try French next. All right, apparently this is an interesting and comedic fact about turtles in French. We'll let the basic pre-made Elevenlabs character say this one.
Saviez-vous que les tortues sont de véritables comédiennes dans le monde animal? En effet, elles sont capables de retenir leur souffle pendant de longues périodes, jusqu'à ce qu'elles aient besoin de respirer à nouveau. Alors, si vous voyez une tortue immobile sous l'eau, ne vous inquiétez pas, elle n'est pas en train de jouer les tragédiennes. En réalité, elle nous fait une représentation digne d'un mime, retenant son souffle et attendant patiemment le moment idéal pour faire surface et nous surprendre avec sa performance aquatique.
Sounds like it'd be good, although I don't speak French. By the way, the translation is that turtles can hold their breath for a long period of time until they need to breathe. What kind of a fact is that, ChatGPT? Boring. I wanted to hear something real fun. All right, now we're going to get a fact about cats, and it's going to be in Polish down here. We've also got it in English. Thanks, ChatGPT. They have an incredible sense of balance, flexibility, agility, gravity-defying stunts. Yes, cats can do that. Cats are so dedicated to their craft that they spend a significant portion of their lives practicing, leaping onto narrow surfaces to walking on tight ropes made of fences. Yes, interesting. Now we've got it in Polish. Let's hear it, and we'll go back to my voice for this one. Turn the stability down just a hair on this so it doesn't speak so fast.
Czy wiedziałeś, że koty mają tajemniczy talent, który sprawia, że są wybitnymi akrobatami i komikami w królestwie zwierząt? Ich niesamowite poczucie równowagi, elastyczność i zwinność pozwalają im wykonywać akrobacje przekraczające granice grawitacji, często pozostawiając swoją publiczność, nas, ludzi, w zachwycie i śmiechu. W rzeczywistości koty są tak oddane swojemu rzemiosłu, że spędzają znaczną część swojego życia na ćwiczeniach. Od skakania na wąskie powierzchnie po chodzenie po linie zrobione z płotów. Dlatego, gdy następnym razem zobaczysz kota wykonującego imponujący wyczyn, pamiętaj, że są nie tylko zręcznymi łowcami, ale także oddanymi artystami estradowymi.
I don't know. I mean, Polish is very far away from what I would be able to pick up on in terms of a language being spoken correctly, so I have no idea. All right, now we're going to go for Hindi, and this time it's definitely writing in Hindi, first of all. This time it's going to be about a dead goldfish. All right, let's hear it.
प्रिय मित्र, मुझे दुख के साथ बताना पड़ रहा है कि हमारी प्यारी सोने की मछली कल चल बसी। वह हमेशा हमारे घर की खुशियों का एक हिस्सा थी और अब उसकी कमी महसूस होती है। वह हमेशा हमारे पास थी जब हम दिन के अंत में आराम कर रहे थे और हमारी हंसी और खुशियां देखती थीं। वह एक नन्ही सी मछली थी, लेकिन उसके दिल में था समुद्र जितना प्रेम। इस सूचना के साथ हम उसकी यादों को याद करते हैं और उसके लिए शोक मनाते हैं। हमारी छोटी सोने की मछली हमेशा हमारे दिलों में रहेगी। शोक संगत धन्यवाद। आपका नाम?
I don't know. Anyone who speaks Hindi, how does that sound? Dear friend, it is with sadness that I have to inform you that our beloved goldfish passed away yesterday. It was always a part of our home's happiness, and now its absence is felt. It was always there with us when we were relaxing at the end of the day, witnessing our laughter and joy. It was a tiny fish, but it had an ocean's worth of love in its heart. With this message, we remember its memories and mourn for it. Our little goldfish will always remain in our hearts. Sorrowfully yours, your name. Wow. We've got one language left, and that's Portuguese. Portuguese can be spoken many different ways. I mean, I'm sure all of those languages can be spoken many different ways, but I know mainly there's like mainland Portuguese and then Brazilian Portuguese. So I'm wondering, well, what ChatGPT is going to go for, and then what this thing is going to speak. All right, this is going to be a response. All right, let's hear this Portuguese response. By the way, any of you Portuguese speakers at home, let me know. First of all, if this is Brazilian or mainland Portuguese and how it sounds.
Caro amigo, estou extremamente irritado e decepcionado ao saber da triste notícia sobre a morte do nosso querido peixe dourado. Quando confiei a você o cuidado do meu amado animal de estimação, esperava que você cuidasse dele com a mesma dedicação e amor que eu sempre tive. No entanto, agora parece que o peixe não recebeu os cuidados adequados durante a minha ausência. A falta de atenção e negligência em suas responsabilidades levaram à perda irreparável de uma criatura inocente que só trouxe alegria e felicidade para nossas vidas. Eu não consigo expressar a dor e a tristeza que sinto neste momento, sabendo que o meu querido peixe dourado sofreu devido à sua incapacidade de cumprir com as obrigações que lhe foram confiadas. Peço que no futuro você reflita sobre suas ações e as consequências que elas possam ter na vida de outros seres vivos. Espero que você entenda a gravidade desta situação e tome as medidas necessárias para garantir que tal tragédia nunca se repita. Com desapontamento e indignação, seu nome.
That's pretty funny. All right, let's go ahead and build a quick voice with Elevenlabs, and then we'll listen to the response in English here with that created voice. So what we'll do is we'll go to the voice lab here and click add a voice, and we'll do voice design. By the way, to get access to voice design and instant voice cloning, it's $5 a month, which is, I think, a pretty good deal for this. You can create 10 voices with that. We're going to go for a middle-aged voice. We'll go for British accent, might as well. We'll make it male. Accent strength we'll make pretty high. Let's take a listen. It's going to randomly generate a voice. I mean, these are pretty much our only parameters here.
First, we thought the PC was a calculator. Then we found out how to turn numbers into letters, and we thought it was a typewriter.
Let's try Australian instead.
First, we thought the PC was a calculator. Then we found out how to turn numbers into letters, and we thought it was a typewriter.
See, that was not Australian. Go super low on the accent.
First, we thought the PC was a calculator. Then we found out how to turn numbers into letters, and we thought it was a typewriter.
Yeah, and you see, that's definitely not a male voice, as far as I can tell. So this thing's kind of all over the place. Like, you lower the accent and it gets stronger, you increase it, it gets lower. So it's kind of just like, not the best creator, but you can make completely unique voices, which is pretty cool.
First, we thought the PC was a calculator. Then we found out how to turn numbers into letters, and we thought it was a typewriter.
You see, that's not a male voice. Like, absolutely not.
First, we thought the PC was a calculator. Then we found out how to turn numbers into letters, and we thought it was a typewriter.
Go straight American accent.
First, we thought the PC was a calculator. Then we found out how to turn numbers into letters, and we thought it was a typewriter.
That's like straight, Fitnessgram Pacer test is a multi-stage aerobic capacity test. Yeah, let's go with that one. We'll name this Pacer test. There. Create the voice. And now we'll go ahead and let our newly created Pacer test voice read this one out.
I am extremely upset and disappointed to learn of the sad news about the death of our beloved goldfish. When I entrusted you with the care of my cherished pet, I expected you to look after it with the same dedication and love that I have always had. However, it now appears that the fish did not receive proper care during my absence. Your lack of attention and negligence in your responsibilities have led to the irreplaceable loss of an innocent creature that only brought joy and happiness to our lives. I cannot express the pain and sorrow I feel at this moment, knowing that my dear goldfish suffered due to your inability to fulfill the obligations entrusted to you. I ask that in the future you reflect on your actions and the consequences they may have on the lives of other living beings. I hope you understand the gravity of this situation and take the necessary steps to ensure that such a tragedy never repeats itself. With disappointment and indignation, your name.
All right, that's good. That's good. So, viewers, how do you think Elevenlabs is doing with all of this? If you speak multiple languages, if you speak any of those languages that we listened to today, I would absolutely love your response down below. Let me know how it did, because that's really the most important part about this. I don't speak those languages, so I can't tell. They sounded pretty good to my American ear, but that's as far as it goes for me. So, you know, I know it does English really well, but does it do the other languages well? And again, I want you to keep in mind some of the really amazing capabilities that this can bring up in the future. I mean, again, picture a real-time translation of someone's voice. Like, it could be my voice cloned on this thing, speaking another language in real time being translated. You could use ChatGPT to translate it in real time, and use this thing to make it sound like it's my voice actually saying it. Really cool stuff. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.